So I rise to support of this bill, which in principle is to enable the Housing and Development Board, HDB, to carry out upgrading works within or for flats in its housing estates if 75% of flat owners vote in favor of such upgrading works. I would also like to say that my party, as an opposition party, supports the government's policy of upgrading HDB flats. I make this statement to dispel any notion that the minister may have that the opposition does not support the government's upgrading programs. Now, that was the reason, I believe, the minister gave after the last election when the government failed to upgrade Potong Pasir HDB flats after promising to do so. I note that the list of items included for upgrading under Clause 2 of the bill is all-embracing. It includes items within the flat and also items within a building or any part thereof not comprised in the flat. It is encouraging to know that HDB shall be upgrading so many items because after 25 years, and HDB flats need a lot of repair and upgrading. The most troublesome faults occurring within an old HDB flat are spalling concrete, leaking ceilings, and corroded sewer pipes. These faults in old HDB flats are very unpleasant and unsightly. As for the spalling concrete, they are menacing and dangerous. These faults that I mentioned are best rectified by HDB upgrading. Before those upgrading works are done, a poll has to be taken and a 75% approval must be sought from flat owners first. It must be noted that the flat owners do not give their approval automatically and vote for the upgrading of the flats. The HDB cannot take flat owners for granted and must look at the sensitivities and interests of flat owners in carrying out the upgrading programs. The main upgrading program, MUP, at 2 precincts were rejected by flat owners at McPherson and Pandan Gardens. And the MUP at Teck Whye was postponed, then withdrawn after the MUP was scrapped by the HDB. The said 2 MUPs failed because lessees complained that the upgrading took too long, 2 years, I believe. And it was too noisy and dusty, and a lot of inconveniences caused. In the case of the MUP at Marine Terrace, the subcontractor there went bust and could not continue with the work. The cost of upgrading at that time was also a factor. The inclusion of space addition item, SAI, was another problem as well. I believe the government was surprised that residents rejected MUP, especially when the government thinks that the MUP were done for the benefit of the flat owners. The MUP was halted at about 2004, and subsequent new upgrading programs have come on stream. Following the MUP, there was the Interim Upgrading Program, IUP, followed by the Lift Upgrading Program, LUP, and the LUP Plus. Then came the Hawkers Upgrading Program, HUP, to be carried out by the NEA, after which came the Home Improvement Program, HIP, then the Neighborhood Renewal Program, NRP. The last two programs, namely the HIP and the NRP, were announced by the Prime Minister at his National Day rally speech on 19th August 2007. And not surprisingly, Potong Pasir was not included in the list of HIP, NRP, and all the other upgrading programs mentioned above. May I ask the Minister or Ministers of State, what is the reason for Potong Pasir not being included in the above-mentioned upgrading programs, although Potong Pasir is eligible to it? And will Potong Pasir ever be included in the categories of upgrading? If so, when? It is unfair of the government to discriminate against Potong Pasir. Potong Pasir for the last 20 years has been completely deprived of any upgrading benefits. Millions of dollars have been spent, but Potong Pasir has not benefited even 1 cent of those funds spent on upgrading public flats. Are Potong Pasir residents not Singapore citizens? Don't they pay income tax? Don't their sons do national service? The government should use public funds fairly for the benefit of all constituencies, including the opposition ones. Now, despite the fact that Potong Pasir has not benefited at all from HDB upgrading program, I still support the bill. Thank you.
Thank you.